Boys, I'm back. I know you missed me last week. I am back from not shitting and throwing up all over the place. Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend for still being married to me. Like, it was exorcism shit, guys. Like, she thought my head was going to turn around 360 degrees, and I was just going to be like, your mother sucks cocks in hell. And then I would be like, that was it. That was like my 12 hours, and then it's food poisoning. You're back, like everything's all normal. But you guys killed it last week. Thanks for filling in. What a crazy week 4. Like in the Moose Knuckle Fantasy Football League, we're a 14-team league, and there's 7 2-2 teams. It's a very competitive. We got a couple stinkers at the bottom. Dietrich, I know you're one of those stinkers, so I won't make fun of you too much. It is Sacco's birthday week, so let's focus on making fun of him the entire episode. But guys, I had like 4 stats that like I'm just gonna rattle off to you guys, and they're insane to me. You ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Barkley. Barkley is the RB1, right? He has 86 total fantasy points, which is the lowest for an overall RB1 through the first full 4 weeks of the season since 1997. So 25 years. Curtis Martin. Insane. You want another one?
Give me another one.
The Lions and their opponents have now contributed 281 points through the first 4 games of the season. That's the most ever in NFL history. Detroit leads the league in points scored at 35 per game. But guys, they're giving up 35.3 points. So just Motor City is a good team if they can just give up one less field goal. Like, this is a hell of an offense, right?
It's the number 1 ranked offense and the 32nd best defense in the NFL.
Like, Hawkinson came alive. He had a career game last year. They had Swift out. They had Amon St. Brown. I'm like, let's see what these Lions can do. And they showed up. Their offense showed up still. So I think we're going to have a good Detroit year this year. I'm excited for that. But one last one, and this one's like my favorite, right? Everyone thought Cooper Kupp would not be able to repeat his historic season. He's on pace to beat that season from last year. He really is. He has 42 receptions on the year, guys, in a full point PPR. He went our wide receiver 1 in our league, rightfully so. He is the best wide receiver in the league. We saw it day after day. Justin Fields has 8 less completions than Cooper Kupp receptions. Let that sink in. 34 completions through 4 weeks. Tony, are you still a Justin Fields believer?
We have quarterback problems in Chicago. There's a lot of things that play into that. He's in a new system. He doesn't have a whole lot of offensive line or weapons to throw to. The man's still out there and alive. I'm thankful for that. But we have problems. He is also part of that problem.
Even with those offensive line struggles, you got a hell of a run game, though, on that Chicago Bears team, Tony.
Yeah. I mean, when it certainly helps with the draw, right? Because he's holding in, I think, the second or third most in the league right now. So you got to get rid of that ball. If you don't have an offensive line, get it out of your hands, Justin.
And to be fair, his left tackle is a 5th-round pick, whereas the Detroit Lions, who have the number 1 offense in the league right now, have 3 former first-round picks. So, guys, like, offensive line is huge. I think the Bears somehow finagle some offensive line. Cody Whitehair is also out for an extended period of time, so not great for Justin. And but we saw some Mooney action as well. That was exciting. He kind of came out of the woodworks for at least a completion or 2 last week, but still a disappointing loss. But guys, let's go over the quick hits. Who's got it?
I got it right here. Recapping week 4 in the MFFL, the certified beefer of the week is I beat Ryan twice. Jake Warren at 175 points this week. Good job, Jake. Lowest scoring team. It was a close one. The great Goatsy, Brian Saros, though, takes it. 85.46 points. MVP week 4. Man, I can't believe a tight end's topping this. TJ Hawkinson of Detroit, as we just discussed. 12 targets, 8 receptions, 179 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
What a line. Oh, man.
And who put up the most points on people's bench? It was definitely a quarterback this week in Team Skeet, who had benched Russell Wilson with 31.48 points. Great to see him performing. But if we keep running out quarterbacks here, it's always going to be a quarterback here. So I went and looked a little bit deeper at the flex, and it was none other than your boy Matt Dietrich's Rashad Penny with 28.7 points. You knew you had to play him, right? You knew you had to do it.
He's tough to play. And Chris, I know you can relate with this because you have the other piece of the Seattle backfield, and both of them are just hard to trust right now because they're eating each other's lunch right now. And but yeah, Rashad Penny had a great week. It didn't matter though. I put up the third highest points in the week, I think, only to be beaten by a guy that was in the top 2.
Yes, it sucks, man, when that happens.
That schedule is a bitch.
Things happen.
Moving on to our consensus fab pickup, we have the great Goatsy going out and spending $31 on Jared Goff. The second highest bid on that man was also yours truly, Matt Dietrich, with a $9 bid. And, Gotsy's going up against me this week, who, doesn't have the greatest team in the league. So, I can see him really trying to make a move just this week with all that fab money he spent.
Yeah, Tony, that's my bad. That's my bad. I did dump Goff as well. I didn't want to dump Trevor Lawrence against Texans, and I wasn't dumping Herbert, so I needed a bench spot. And I hated dumping a top 5 quarterback, but I was like, I had to. I don't know why I did it, but I hope it doesn't come back to bite you in the ass this week.
No worries. I certainly have all my fab and could have went and acquired him as well, but I'm going to be sticking with tried and true Carson Wentz this week.
I think he's due for a good week, so I think sticking with Wentz is a good thought. Tony, somebody that doesn't have any fab, well, that's our boy Ryan Saros. He is now with a $0 budget for the rest of the season, blowing the rest of his load here on Jared Goff.
And indeed, Tony, maybe you guys know this better than I do. We are buying back on fab this year, right?
No, that's next year.
That's next year. Okay, so Saros is he blew his load fast.
Did we vote against it?
Oh man, I can't even remember. We might have voted against it.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we brought it back at $200 for $100.
No, I don't think so.
I think maybe we should invent that rule for Saros because I think he would be contributing some nice funds right about now.
He could use it.
Oh, yeah. And no trades to speak of in the league this week. Let's move on to some NFL news. Matt, what's happening in the NFL league?
All right, guys. Well, I got some DK Metcalf news for you because early in the fourth quarter of the Sunday Seahawks-Lions game, we saw the Seattle Star get carted to the locker room. Many took to Twitter, including Robert Griffin III, with, quote, "Man, this game is brutal. Prayers sent up. Injuries are brutal, but what's even more brutal is having to take a dump when there isn't a toilet in sight." And that's exactly what happened to DK Metcalf. It was a Code Brown situation, similar to, Chris, the situation you had rolling the last couple of days. So Code Brown, he was offered a ride on the cart back to the locker room, and he graciously accepted because, quote, "the clinch walk wouldn't have made it," unquote. Boys, it's my understanding this was the first ever poop mobile to the NFL locker room. Metcalf was later asked if he tipped the driver, in which he smiled and said, quote, "I didn't have my wallet," unquote. Any close calls you want to mention here? Chris, I know, again, this is something you may have been experiencing recently. Would a cart ride have improved your overall experience this last week?
100%. I wouldn't have. Yeah, well, I'll spare our listeners the details, but there was an encounter or two. Let's just put it at that. But guys, they were wearing white pants that game, right? I can't really remember.
Yeah, it's kind of like the white or light gray kind of pants that they got.
Yeah, I honestly think he shit himself and had to go to the locker room and just didn't want to show people, and he just changed his pants real quick and then came back out. I swear to God, I would not put that past because we've all had a little sharp here or there. It's just none of us have the balls to wear white pants or gray pants.
Yeah, and funny you should say that, Chris, because in sports history, this has happened before. If you guys remember in the NBA, Paul Pierce, Boston Celtics star, had to take a wheelchair off the court in 2008 in the NBA Finals against the Lakers. And there was always this conspiracy theory that the reason for the wheelchair wasn't an injury, but he actually shit his pants on court. And it took over a decade for him to admit that Paul Pierce said, quote, something went down, unquote, and he found a way to exit the court to handle his business.
Oh, man.
Love to see it.
That is great reporting there, Dietrich. Moving on to Pittsburgh, we find that Mike Tomlin has actually announced Kenny Pickett is the starter moving forward in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of funny puns to be had here in Pickettsburg, maybe one that you might be familiar with. How do you guys think this helps the other talent there in Pittsburgh moving forward? Any ascend, any decline? What are your thoughts?
I think this is an ascend for most of the Pittsburgh offense here. I have ownership in Pat Freiermuth. I'm excited for it. I do think there's going to be a lot of checkdowns or looks at the tight end position. I think neutral, if not maybe slight bump for Najee Harris. And I think other guys like George Pickens in the wide receiver, I mean, his stats came to life in week 4 with Pickett coming in. So maybe a lot to look forward to if you're a Pickens owner.
Yeah, I think there's one thing for sure is that like after playing a year with Brian DeBoll, Sean McDermott, under Josh Allen, and then playing with arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time in Tomlin, it's that Trubisky does suck. Like guys, like right, like he gave him 4 weeks because they gave him the money, and he's a veteran, respected veteran, right? But like this was Pickett's team. He did punch it in the end zone on the ground twice. So this hopefully isn't for Najee Harris owners. This isn't a trend moving forward in that aspect. But I agree. I think this is a huge upgrade for Freiermuth. I think Chase Claypool is one of the worst wide receivers and overhyped wide receivers in the league. Deontay Johnson is very solid for PPR, but I think Pickens could be the ascending star here as well.
A 14-team league can cut Chase Claypool. That guy, he's awful.
He's bad.
He doesn't belong on a fantasy roster, and at this point, he doesn't belong to be on the wide receiver depth chart in Pittsburgh.
Agreed.
Man, my how the mighty have fallen. Moving on, did y'all see that protester in San Francisco running on the field?
Yeah, what was he protesting? Was he like? We thought it was a gender reveal for a second because he was like pink, and it's like, oh, like another stupid gender reveal, but it wasn't that. I don't think.
I don't
think
know
Bobby
what he was
Wagner thought that
protesting.
too.
I was going to say, I don't know.
Hit.
I know one thing he didn't see, and that was Bobby Wagner.
But like that was Bobby Wagner's like biggest hit of the year. I mean, like that Rams defense is not great. Here's Jimmy Garoppolo again Monday night, picking them through. Jalen Ramsey looks lost out there. Even Debo was laughing in that press conference, and they're like, "What was Jalen doing when you were busting out that long touchdown?" He's like, "I don't know what he was doing. Like you gotta ask Jalen." Like that is a different Rams defense, and like I said, great hit by Wagner, but that was his highlight this year so far.
Well, that protester has now come out and filed a police report against Bobby Wagner.
Love to see it.
He is looking for more FaceTime with Bobby Wagner, it appears.
Yeah, because that makes sense. All right. Love to see it. Guys, to wrap it up, Javonte Williams tore ACL. Very unfortunate news coming out of Denver. Denver also did some transactions with signing Latavius Murray off the practice squad after he jumped into the end zone in London. Very sad to see in Denver. Denver's just been one of those teams this year that has not been clicking well, and they lose one of their key players. And this turns it over to veteran Melvin Gordon, solid running back, but the guy has just not been able to hold on to the ball this year. So there are trust issues already in that backfield. You guys know I dropped a fuck ton on Mike Boone this week. $25. That guy had like 2 big drops last week as well. Like one was to pick up a first down. So like I hate the move, but I feel like I needed an upgrade on the running back slot, and this gave me the best opportunity. But very sad to see about Javonte.
Yeah, I think you scored both Latavius and Boone, right?
I did. I got to dump someone. I don't have a defense this week, so I'm trying to play it out to see how the rest of this goes. But yeah, I think Latavius will probably be dumped on Saturday for me to pick up a defense or Sunday morning.
I don't know who dropped. Whose drop was worse? Gordon's and Boone's, or the Saints dropping Latavius to their practice squad. That's a big loss for them.
Yeah, definitely, especially because they have questions in their backfield.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you think that everything must be kind of right for Kamara and the rib injury. Otherwise, they wouldn't make this move. But it looks like Latavius is serviceable. I don't know if I'd call him a star-studded running back. Maybe he eats into Mike Boone's workload a little bit. I don't know what to make of it. Melvin Gordon didn't he have a bit of a shoulder injury? I think he's been limited all week in practice, so worth monitoring that as well. We'll have to see. This is going to probably become a three-headed monster in Denver for the time being, and hopefully it shakes out and somebody starts producing for you, Chris.
Yeah, I need it. I need it in that RB2 slot.
Was that an earthquake in Wheaton? What the fuck was that?
I hit my knee on the table, and the weirdest thing is that like one of my it's a 2-light lamp, and one of those lights just kicked on, and I was like having trouble with that light bulb. So I hope you guys can see me better now, but no earthquake. What was that on the Richter scale at the Vester household?
Fucking in the basement, just hoping it doesn't fall down.
Tony, round it off for us, bud.
Man, let's get into some injuries here. At the quarterback position, we got Tua Tagovailoa with a concussion, ruled out for Week 5.
Concussion, really?
Yeah.
How about
that? The top of the long list of things.
Yeah, right? Poor Tua.
We got Russell Wilson with a shoulder. Kind of, I'm not sure if he practiced today. There wasn't a whole lot of information. After I think he's going to be good to go, though.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good to go. It's just been kind of getting limited reps in. So we're ready to see Mr. Unlimited come back out because, hey, guys, had a pretty decent Week 4, so maybe he starts turning it around here.
Agreed. Daniel Jones with the ankle. He did practice, so it looks like he'll probably make it. They need him out there. And Dak Prescott with the thumb, likely Week 6 return.
To go back to Danny Dimes, it's funny that he hurt his ankle because he was breaking the Chicago Bears ankles all last weekend. 2 rushing touchdowns in for him. As a Barkley owner, I hated it, but like when you can get burned by Danny Jones not once but twice in a game, like you kind of love to see it, right, D?
Chris, that game was fascinating to watch altogether. I mean, with Daniel Jones having the issues that he did, but then you got to see Saquon Barkley come out and take snaps under center and running the Wildcat, handing the ball off. I know you didn't. They likely didn't practice that very much, leading up to these games, and it worked. It was very effective against Chicago's defense.
And they have run plays with Barkley throwing the ball, and the guy has a cannon. So when I saw him come in as a quarterback, and I was like, I can get behind this. Like I thought I had like a Lamar Jackson for the rest of the season, and I could play in my RB slot. I was really excited. But yeah, I think Danny Jones could even rush for a couple against that Packers defense early in London. So love to see it go back to back.
Yeah, those Bears just had no answer for that run game, man. It's sad to see. Moving on to our running backs, Javonte Williams, we had touched on a bit. Torn ACL, LCL, posterior lateral corner. I will note that this is very similar to J.K. Dobbins' injury, who he, similar time last year, got injured, and he's just now making the field. So it's going to be a long road to recovery, I think, for Javonte.
Oh, man. You hate to see it. You really do.
Yeah.
Jonathan? You got to be thrilled, though. Because as a Christian McCaffrey owner who kind of seems like he's, more involved in that Panther offense, like I told Reese to draft McCaffrey, and, he took Taylor, and he was a consensus number 1. I think Tony's right. This is going to linger through the rest of the year for Jonathan Taylor, and already having a disappointing year as the consensus number 1.
McCaffrey's doing okay for himself. The points are down. He looks good. But the points are down because he's just not catching enough passes in the backfield right now. 9 or 10 targets in Week 4. Baker's finally figuring out, like, hey, maybe we should start giving the ball to the best player on the team. And it's a wild concept, and it seems like it's going to work. Should he consider to do it going forward?
Yeah.
Right? Right. That's all I got. But yeah,
I think
Jonathan Taylor is. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to linger. I know it probably puts a smile on your face, Chris, being a Naheem Hines owner and getting probably some pretty decent attention in the backfield, probably for this upcoming Thursday night football.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's been disappointed. He was vocal this week saying like how disappointed he is with the team going from Carson Wentz to Matt Ryan. The offense just isn't gelling. So hopefully when he speaks out like that, he backs it up when he gets the opportunity. So.
Well, I know who's one person that won't back it up is Philip Lindsay. That guy's not a very good running back, so you can't be very concerned about him getting elevated from the practice squad.
Not the slightest.
And Naeem Hines' projection went up to 17 points this week in Yahoo.
Ooh,
he did. Yeah,
Chris.
I do like that. Yeah, I do like that a lot.
Alvin Kamara with the ribs. He says he plans to play this week. Get him out there. Cordero Patterson with the knee headed to the IR.
Yeah. Tyler Algier time. We'll get to see a little bit more of the rookie and see what he's made of.
That offense sucks.
Would you start Algier this week, though?
Ooh, I want to see who comes out. It's either Algier or who's the other guy to pick up?
Yeah, what is it, Caleb Huntley or something like
Huntley,
that?
that's it, yeah.
The only person I would consider starting for the Atlanta offense right now is, I know you have to probably start Kyle Pitts, but because you drafted him so high, but is Drake London. Drake London, I think, is going to be the main guy in that offense moving forward.
Yeah, it's hard to play anyone, even Marcus Mariota, right?
That's true. Yeah, 7 passes. They don't get you very many points. Can't confirm.
And last RB on our list, Brian Robinson, leg, quote, shot. He's out there. He's practicing, and he's on the active roster. They've got something like 21 days to get him out and on the field. Man, amazing comeback here.
Hero.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody, everybody's rooting for this guy. And, frankly, it's not a very tall bar to step over with Antonio Gibson playing the way he is right now. So get well soon, Brian Robinson, because the backfield needs you there in Washington.
Moved on wide receivers. Keenan Allen's hamstring still day to day. I mean, this was a week 1 injury? It's crazy. I'll take it, though. I got a lot of Charger stock over here. So,
how do you feel as a Herbert owner, Chris? Does this bother you not having Keenan Allen out there on the field? I mean, he gets a lot of targets week in and week out.
He does. Like, he was one of the reasons why I love Herbert. But Herbert is also leading the league in passing yards this year after tearing his rib cartilage. So I just think it's a high-profile offense. I think he can dump it off to Eckler, and Gerald Everett is having a tremendous season, and Mike Williams is a 1B type of guy. So I would love for Keenan Allen to be out there, but I think the Chargers are just going to roll.
Everett seems to be that dude. I think he's officially that dude of the MFFL.
T. Higgins with the ankle, he's still likely to play. And I think he might have even been banged up. I don't know if he came out last week at all for the ankle, but he was even outperforming Boyd last week. This guy, just the great 1A, 1B there with Jamar Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Special talent, yeah. This is going to be a throwdown for the Sunday night game that we'll cover in a little bit, but Chase will be busy. Higgins will get his. Boyd might even see good action. I'm really looking forward to this Sunday night game.
Tyler Boyd, that's a guy who's going to get a big contract when he's a free agent from another team to be like their 1A guy, and like given the opportunity, I think he can do it. I think he's just overshadowed in that offense by too much, pass catching options. Who's the tight end out there right now? Is it Hurst?
Hayden Hurst, yep.
Yeah, like he's more involved than Huzama was last year. So, Tyler Boyd's just getting lost in that offense right now, I think.
Yeah. Michael Thomas with the toe. I didn't see a whole lot of update here. People, I think he's going to suit up this week, though. Myself, what do you guys think?
I don't know, Tone. I don't know what to make of it. I'm a little nervous as a Thomas owner, and Jameis isn't practicing either, right? So this is another week that looks very up in the air for New Orleans.
Besides Chris Olave, that guy's the real deal as well. He's catching balls. I think he had about 18 points last week, 660 and 6, right? Like, loved it.
Still got Andy Dalton out there slinging it. Maybe not fantasy relevant, but he can get your wide receiver the ball.
I saw Andy Dalton this summer, and I've never within like 15 feet of each other at a country club, and like he's a big guy. Like you don't realize he is a big guy. So like I was like I didn't have the balls to go up and say, hey man, I'd love to get you on the Moose Knuckle Fantasy Football podcast, but it's rooting for the guy as well. So that was my bad. I should have done a better job selling him on this tremendous opportunity.
He would have accepted. The Red Rifle, you are always welcome. I know you're listening, so come on down anytime.
Yeah. What else is big? Moose. All right. Jeez. Last wide receiver on our list, Rashad Bateman, with a foot, like a mid-foot injury, did not practice today. Really need you out there, Rashad. Come on, man. And I know our boy Lamar needs you out there. Doesn't have a lot of people to pass to. Otherwise, it's Duvernay season. That will continue.
It was nice to see Gus Edwards come back out, get a good start, get a good return, 2 touchdowns in that game. I think he's been a little absent this week too, probably nursing injury, getting right. But nice to see him come back in and get acclimated into that Baltimore offense really quickly.
All right, guys. Know what their mentionable injuries. Let's roll into locks of the week. I'll cap it off with my pick, San Francisco 49ers. They are giving 6.5 and traveling to Carolina. Right here, I'd take the money line as both of San Francisco's losses came on the road this year to Chicago and Denver rather than taking the points. But I think they're going to come in, they're third game under Jimmy G. I mean, Debo's looking red hot right now. Kittle's underperforming. And Jeff Wilson, man, I didn't know he could run so fast. I'm just going to pounce over this Carolina team.
He's got a great offensive line that's helping him make those alleys for him to just, shoot the gap. Like you said, Tony, he's got speed. He's got breakaway speed for sure, and a great offensive line to back it up. They've been playing well all season, and it shows. Jeff Wilson is doing great both on the field and for fantasy production.
Yeah, we saw it Monday. Jimmy G, he's just a winner. He is just a winner. He gets it done. It's not sexy, but he runs that offense well. I think they need to start giving George Kittle that, Rob Gronkowski late in the career, treatment where it's like, hey man, like we're going to give you 70% of the snaps in the regular season. And then when we make the postseason, because I think they're going to make the postseason either as a wild card or, they beat the Rams on Monday. Like I think they're a playoff team and, they're going to need Kittle in that time frame. So I would start giving them the Gronk treatment, which fantasy owners probably don't like, but there's not a lot to hate about this 49ers, especially that defense shutting down the Rams like they did.
Yeah, that was stellar, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I texted this to you. There was a guy in my work league who was up big heading into Monday, and the guy needed 21 points from San Francisco's defense to win, and he got it, and he won by 0.1. And I was like, just what a shit way to come into the office on Tuesday, right? Like,
Those type of losses sit with you for a long time.
Remember it for years.
Yep.
For years. It's like a little scar like on the back of your ankle.
Oh, well said, Chris. All right, let me get to my lock of the week here. And Chris, you're gonna like it. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're coming off a pretty disappointing loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, but they're gonna look to bounce back against this Houston Texans team in Week 5. So, give me the Jaguars. Excuse me, and I think the line, if it hasn't moved, is still at -7. I will go with the points. So, Jags -7. Let's lock it in.
Yeah, they're at home. The best of all time, Blake Bortles, announced retirement, so he's going to probably hop into construction, rip some cigs, and just live his best life down in Jack's Beach and just slay, right? He's just going to have a great time. So Yes.
I got a couple of Blake Bortles little nuggets here to share with you because I was
No
waiting for
way.
you to make a little comment on the boat. All right, so Blake Bortles, I think that was 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but that was when he just was absolutely electric.
Yeah, that's when they were one play away from going to the Super Bowl. Miles Jack wasn't down. Fuck the Patriots. Like we should have had a Nick Foles, Blake Bortles Super Bowl that year.
Sorry to open up a wound there for you, but Blake Bortles has 2 playoff wins since 2017, and that's more than these notable quarterbacks: Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield. So Blake Bortles, he's up there, man. And here's another one.
Here's my eyes.
Here's another tweet courtesy of Spotrac. Quarterback Blake Bortles retires from the NFL, having earned an estimated $47.6 million across 8 seasons with these 5 teams. Chris, do you know all 5 teams that the boat has played for?
Can I give it a stab?
Yeah, go for it.
Jags, Rams, Broncos, Packers. That's 4, right? I don't get I want to say Saints.
Saints, you got it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Not in that order, but I don't have all the jerseys, but he like a 5th round draft pick out of UCF. I had like that T-shirt. I remember like I had like a picture of me at like the NFL draft in Chicago, and I was standing like right next to that draft. Like I know you know the picture, and then you actually took like my face and you did a really great job of photoshopping my face on the Blake Bortles bodies. So. Like I said, he's hopping in and ripping cigs on construction sites. So love it. And you know what? The Jags look good. You know what? They jumped out to a 14-0 lead against Philly in a rain game. You know, the Philadelphia fans surprisingly gave Coach Dougie P a standing ovation for winning that Super Bowl. Those players still love him. So it makes me feel like the Jags did hire the right coach. And Trevor Lawrence had 5 turnovers that game, and most of them were 4 out of the 5 were fumbles. Wet weather, like he's just not going to do that. He's not going to do that every week. The Jags have the 2nd easiest schedule for the rest of the season, and I think they're going to win the South. I really do. This is a good Jags team. Their defense is really good. They turn the ball over. They're plus. Positive differential. They have more turnovers so far this year than they did all of last year. So, I am huge on Duvall this year, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable what a professional caliber head coach can do to turn around a team like that instead of a child that was coaching it last year. Dougie P's got what it takes, and Lawrence has certainly improved. Through the first 4 weeks of the season here. And, the arrow keeps trending up. So good things ahead for Jacksonville, and I definitely think they get the job done here against Houston.
Yeah, I digress. But my lock of the week, I love this team as well. I've been talking about it all podcast. Lions are getting 3 on the road in Foxborough. Mac Jones have no idea if he's playing. Brian Hoyer didn't do well. The kid who came in against the Packers D, I'm sure you remember his name because he kind of was serviceable, took over. But Lions have a top offense, and I think the Lions can win outright after a disappointing loss to Seattle. And I like the over. We just talked about how the Lions score 35 points. We just talked about how they give up 35.3. So the over is 45.5. I think that hits.
I'll take that with you.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, traveling in New England on the road, who do you think Belichick takes out of this game? Obviously, he targets one.
You got to shut down Amron, right? Like
that's what I was thinking too. But they got a nice tight end there too, right?
Career game last year, right? I'm sorry, last week. Yeah. Close to 40 points out of that tight end slot. Love to see it.
Man, I don't expect Swift back, but Williams still trucking through offensive lines.
D loves that.
He looks great. Man. He's
like
carrying
this.
he's carrying the squad right now.
Yeah.
Chris, let's flip the coin. Let's move from locked on to your bold prediction.
Yeah, Arizona has not been great this year. The last undefeated team in Philadelphia goes west to Arizona, and they are giving the Cardinals 5.5. I'm not saying they're going to win. I just think the Cardinals are going to cover. Going from east to west is tough. I think. God, who the hell? King. What the hell's the head coach in Arizona? I'm drawing a blank. The really good looking guy.
You say Cliff
Cliff.
Kingsbury?
Cliff. Yeah, Cliff. Let's call him Cliff. Yeah, I think Cliff knows how to shut down like a Jalen Hurts because, he knows Jalen Hurts well. And, he has to practice against, or coach for Kyler Murray every single week. So hopefully he's got an idea on how to shut that down. So I think Arizona can cover that 5.5.
I like it. I was trying to look up his name. I forgot, but he's going to be getting. I want to say Rondell Moore. Is that his wide receiver's name?
Yeah.
He played a little bit last week. I think he'll be able to perform a lot better this week. So he's getting some talent back there as well. Interesting take, man. Eagles are 4-0.
Yeah, hey, they're a really good team. AJ Brown, I think, has been a great addition to that offense. They're the hottest team in football right now.
It's a spicy pick, but Modern Warfare 2 has not released yet, so I think it's a good time to invest in Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's the best take I've heard all day. All right, man. From one bold trip prediction to the other, let me drop mine here. The New York Jets getting 3 points to cover at home versus Miami. I'll take the under on this. I think this is going to be a low-scoring match. Zach Wilson, in his return, looked pretty good on a high-flying offense under Joe Flacco. The offense looked like it looked even better with Zach Wilson. So it certainly helps. Tua is already out for this game. I think the New York Jets can get it done at home versus Miami.
And speaking of Zach Wilson, we got to talk about this whole Giselle Tom Brady thing. I think Zach Wilson's got a shot with Giselle, right?
Get out of here with this.
I think if the Jets could never beat Tom Brady, but Zach Wilson hooking up with Giselle, I think every single Jets fan would be like, "Hey, we haven't won a Super Bowl in 70 years since the 1960s, but that's a good win for them."
That's equivalent to winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. Hooking up with Giselle, winning a Super Bowl.
All right.
It's pretty good. It's funny, Chris, but yeah, ever since the episode 1 of season 2, I feel like I've always been beating the drum on Zach Wilson. I've turned into a fan, so I want to see him succeed. He looked great. The Philly special throw where he got to catch the pass in the end zone. Well done, sir. Good things ahead for Zach Wilson. So that Jets team is going to continually improve.
And D, you sent me the Instagram video. He nailed that gritty. I tried practicing that dance at home, without anyone watching, and that is a tough dance. And I know both of you guys have tried as well, but I can't do it. I have no he killed it.
Yeah, I have no shot. I tried it, can't even come close. Was trying to show my 5-year-old. Hopefully, she can get it done pretty soon here.
Yeah, both of your daughters have a better shot of doing it than any of us learning how to do that.
I'm still
100%.
trying to learn how to floss over here.
Nice.
I'm still back on learning how to Dougie.
All right. Yeah. Enough dad jokes. Let me finish off our section of bold predictions. And I'm going to be taking the Manders. Yeah, the Commanders plus 2.5 over the Titans. The game goes over the 43.5. That's my projection. This smells like a shootout to me, guys. I think this is another surprising big game for Carson Wentz. No Jahan Dotson in this one, so you're going to get the Terry McLaurin points that you've been just hoping for the first 4 weeks of the season here. They're coming in this game. You're probably going to get a sneaky Antonio Gibson tutty in there too, but don't count on it. But this game's going to go the over. It's going to be a high-flying affair, more than people think. Tannehill, I have him. Am I starting him? I'm thinking about it. I think both of these. I think you play your playmakers on both of these teams because I think there's going to be a high-scoring affair.
Would you bet a Brian Robinson anytime touchdown?
Is he playing for sure?
I don't know, but if he is, I think we should bet it.
Oh, just the risk.
Because guys, I need some good karma. I haven't won a fucking bet in 4 weeks. All right, guys, I need something. And if it's Brian hopping in the end zone for an anytime touchdown, I'll throw the money on to turn the corner on this betting season.
I'll throw the money with you, and I'll give it a bang bang every time he gets in the end zone.
Love it.
The thing, right. I'm with you, man. I've had to reload already twice, and
that makes 3 of us.
And it being the lowest scoring season in a decade or something. That's what's killing us. So bet the under until freaking the cows come home. Yeah.
The thing is, guys, I got every pick right in last week's episode, and I didn't even listen to my own advice. I still lost on FanDuel because I don't know. I need to clearly rewatch or retune into the podcast so I can take these thoughts down and put them in my FanDuel account properly.
No kidding.
Okay, guys. Well, let's get into the Thursday night preview. The Denver Broncos at 2-2 will host the Indianapolis Colts that are 1-2-1 in a primetime affair for Thursday Night Football. FanDuel's got the line Broncos -3.5 with an over-under at 42.5. We touched on it earlier at the top of the show. Johnny Taylor suffered the badly twisted ankle late in that Colts 24-17 loss to the Titans Sunday. Did not return to the game. He had been undergoing constant rehab since in an effort to make it back for Thursday night, but he's going to miss the first game of his pro career. But the Colts run game, like Chris mentioned, just hasn't been stellar even with a healthy Taylor. They've ranked 27th in rushing per game. Definitely looks different from leading the league just a year ago. On the other side of the ball, Russ Wilson, let's ride, was also on the injury report with his right throwing shoulder. He will look to start, but something to keep in mind as Wilson owners likely picked up another quarterback and was benching him for better options the prior weeks. So perhaps you got another alternative to go to. But he's coming off his best game last week as a Bronco. Guys, we actually have Wilson in a league that we share ownership. Do you have confidence in the Danger Russ this week?
No, how's that team doing, by the way?
Not great.
Hate to hear it.
Glad to see that you're tuned in and committed to it.
Dude, I'm in two other leagues besides our own, and I would give up. I would lose and get last place in all of those leagues combined just to make sure that I sniff the playoffs and not get Sacco in ours. That's how much I am committed to the Moose.
Well, you're accomplishing that pretty well because that's where we're at.
Yeah, all right, it's borderline playoffs. So,
but let me think here. For the Colts, well, we got our guy Pity City. Well, we got Patrick Surtain, tough DP in Denver, going to be lining up probably against our guy Pittman. Surtain covered Devontae Adams pretty well the prior week, so that's no easy task. So, what do you guys feel about Michael Pity City? Can he overcome that? Are you starting him? Is he getting a tutty? Can I lock in an anytime touchdown from Michael Pittman on Thursday night, Chris?
Dude, Patrick Surtain is a hell of a player. If you have Pittman, you're definitely starting him. For anytime touchdowns, the favorite coming out of the Colts is Hines, and then right behind him is Pittman. And Phillip Lindsay is actually third for the Colts, even behind a Jerry Jeudy type player. So, I say you either go Mo Alley Cox or you go Nyheim Hines. Mo Alley Cox, we love him here. That guy is a unit. He's going to have a 10-year plus career just because people are just so intrigued with his body size and in that red zone. So he's plus 450 odds right now. So ride that me with a little Nyheim Hines. But I like Denver. Colts have been very disappointing this year. They were a division favorite by a landslide, and Matt Ryan is awful.
Tony, you taking Denver in this one?
I am, my friend, but I'm going to take the under here. So I would not be propping anytime touchdowns right now, just because I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Be wary of that, I would say. Don't certainly parlay it with choosing Denver. Let's just say that you'll have a bad day. I do want to call out Jelani Woods, tight end there. He's only had 4 targets with 3 receptions and 2 touchdowns. It appears that they bring this tight end in just for touchdowns. This could be a long bet. Just throw a couple bucks on him. I'm sure they're just, who knows if they're even giving you the ability to bet on this guy, but he could be somebody that you turns $5 into, 50.
There we go. That's a nice call out. I think 42.5 is right on the button for this. Vegas nailed it. If you're gonna tell me to pick one, I'm gonna go the over, but I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna ride with you guys. Let's ride. Denver Broncos -3.5.
I like it. I like it. Sunday night Bengals Ravens should be a shootout. Love it when these teams play from the AFC North. Over under at 48.5. Ravens are at home, so they are giving the 3, which Vegas counts that as kind of a push, as a pick 'em. Tony, I'll start with you, man. You have a lot of Baltimore people on your team and have in the past. So who do you like?
Yeah, for this matchup, I am taking Baltimore, and like you said, let's go, let's ride. I'm taking the over, man. It's going to be a shootout. Hopefully, Duvernay's there, but hopefully Bateman suits up. If we're looking at both of these teams, Baltimore's put up dang near 48.5 with them combined with other teams. Cincinnati just had a pretty good offensive game, 27 points with Miami. They didn't quite make it to that 48.5. Well, 20, 30, 42, about 42. So it's close. And they got J.K. Dobbins back, which is more of a run heavy that could kind of bring him down, especially if Bateman sits. That's my biggest worry. But, I think these offenses are starting to heat up, and we'll see some good chuck it. Suck it, chuck it, football.
Yeah, I think 48.5 just seems low to me. And Tony, you touched on it earlier. Like, a lot of unders have been hitting to start the season, and if here we are in week 5, and if we can't get an over to hit on a 48.5 bet with the Bengals and Ravens, whose defenses are not great, but their offenses could throw up 50 points by themselves any given day, like, this is a weird NFL season. So I'd pound the over here, and maybe like an anytime touchdown parlay with Chase and Andrews. Just something simple as to keep the juices flowing there.
Perfectly said, Chris. The Ravens' pass defense isn't anything to feel good about. Cornerbacks have been absolutely disappointing, and the Bengals' passing game is heating up. Joey B getting back into form here, guys. His quarterback rating has been going up every week this season. This is going to be a throwdown, like I said earlier in the show. Chase is going to be busy. Higgins is going to get a tutty. Boyd might even see good action. I'm going to ride the over with you guys, over 48.5, but give me the Bengals +3 in this one.
I like that for a guy who has the Bengals as my pick to win the division. So I need that to right the ship. Monday night, guys, we've got another AFC West game. Raiders at Chiefs. Kansas City is giving 7.5. There's an over-under that we can pick apart at 51.5 as well. Tony, I'll start with you, bud.
Yeah, I just don't see any way that Las Vegas can take this at home in Arrowhead. It's just hard to beat Kansas City at home, man. I mean, the fandom in Seattle, this could be second to that, right? They just come, they show up. And Kansas City been putting up some points, as Kansas City does, 44 against Arizona, 41 against Tampa Bay last week. That's definitely pushing that 51.5 points. Dare I say we could do the over on 51.5 points, especially with Devontae Adams on the other side of the ball? I do. I think we could hit the over on this, boys.
I actually think we can too. The last time these two squared off, Kansas City smacked around Las Vegas to the tune of 48-9. So they still hit the 51. It just was an ugly one. But hey, the Raiders notched their first win of the season against Denver in Week 4, and that game was a pretty wild Josh Jacobs game. He totaled 144 rush yards and 2 touchdowns. And Devontae Adams, like you mentioned, Tone, 13 targets, 9 grabs for 101. So they're looking pretty good, and the Chiefs' offense is still running really well, even with the absence of Tyreek Hill. So this is not going to be a blowout. Raiders could easily cover this. Something tells me Josh McDaniels does make this interesting, but I can't go against Kansas City at Arrowhead on a Monday night. So give me the Chiefs. I think I have to stick with Chiefs money line unless you're going to let me adjust the line at 7.5.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest X factors in this game, and he is just off to like a crazy start, is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, he had a couple touchdowns last week. Caught that awesome pass from Mahomes in the corner of the end zone. I'd pound the over here again. This has got Kelsey, TD on me. This has got Devontae. I think this could be a shootout, and I could even do an alternate over at like 60.5 because we need a good Monday Night Football game. We're due for a good Monday Night Football game, and we're due for a shootout. And like you said, I think McDaniels could have something up his sleeves, but in the end, this is a Kansas City rout. But I can see it being like 42-30 and hitting like 72 points.
There we go.
Yeah, to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 19 touches. Isaiah Pacheco had 11, so I think he's coming in. He's getting some work too. Someone you could certainly put a flyer on. Something to note.
You want to go with a nice spicy 2 touchdown on one of these guys, Chris? Maybe a Travis Kelsey doubles up for Monday night?
See, I lost a leg on a parlay because I had Kelsey last week at +2 touchdowns, so I want to do that again.
Sour taste.
Yeah, sour taste. Like I did like a crazy parlay bet, and like Justin Jefferson was like one of my legs, and I was like, he got that like rushing touchdown on Sunday morning, and I was like, yes. Like it just started like the morning off right. I love London football. It goes from 8:30 right up to about 11:40, and it just feeds right into the noon games. Like you have enough time just to, after your cup of coffee, you take a nice little shit, and then you start the noon games, and you're on the couch from noon to 3:30. So looking forward to doing that again next week.
That's what I was telling my wife. They end the game right around 11:30, 11:40. Enough time for you to make your lunch, get your sandwich ready, and then you can sit back down and start watching the noon games. So they give you just the right amount of time.
Oh God, there needs to be a London game every week. I'd take a London game over and put everyone at noon or 1 o'clock, and then make sure there's at least one London game every day, and then you go from morning to about 3. Then you have like a 3-hour break, 4-hour break to do dinner, chores, whatever you got to do, and then boom, Sunday night. Like that would be ideal. That way we wake up early. You don't have to wait till noon to watch the first games.
Dude, I love it. That would be great. Hard on the teams, certainly.
Very hard on the teams. It's not easy getting to London and disrupting. I mean, all NFL teams are very routine, very scheduled. And this just disrupts everything. And having to fly out there, I think the Packers, like they were talking about it on the Pat McAfee podcast, where they went into like this deep analytics study about when do you fly out to London, and statistically, when does a team perform its best? And they have this giant study around it, and they flew out late Thursday, so they get there early Friday and try to stay up and kind of get the jet lag and everything out of the way, try to get a little walkthrough in. So, yeah, it's logistically complicated for folks there. And, all these players, these young guys, they want to probably go out and maybe explore a little bit into London, and makes it even harder on them come game time.
I would love to try to get together with you guys October 30th for that Jags-Broncos game. Reese and I already said, hey, we're getting together for that, just for the morning game. When we get over at someone's house by 8:15, we eat a breakfast, we're drinking mimosas, and vodka or screwdrivers or whatever the hell they're called, and then like we're home by noon.
Sign me up.
Wives and girlfriends can't be too mad at us. That'd be pretty awesome. October 30th.
I'll open up the garage.
Really?
Woo.
Let's do it.
Love to hear it. I'll bring some Stan's Donuts, maybe some Tito's, and we'll watch the Jags Broncos game in London.
All right. Tony, bring the tea and crumpets.
Done. Hope you like coffee cake. It's coming.
So,
From London?
guys, let's just pick. We all have our favorite teams. Packers are giving 7.5 to the Giants in London. What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm probably staying away from any line after what I saw of that New England game. Really thought that would be a different outcome. And New England with what's the guy's name? Zappy took him to overtime. So the Packers will get the dub. But Danny Dimes will probably roll out there and surprise us and statistically do okay for himself. But give me the Packers money line.
Tony, Vikings are giving Bears 7 at home. Who do you like?
Man, I'm not even going to take those 7 points. It's Vikings. I mean, somehow the Bears keep it close, right? I would probably bet just Vikings money line here, but it's definitely Vikings. Easy.
And Duval is giving 7 at home. This has got to be one of their most highly favored games they've had probably since 2017, D. At home against the Texans. Texans are the worst team in the league. I think Jags bounce back and cover here at home and honoring the great Blake Bortles.
It'll happen. As a side note, Lovie Smith, you got to shave the beard, dude. It's not working. It's just it doesn't look great. I'm not a fan of it. He needs to get rid of this thing.
If and I tell my father this all the time. My dad thinks it's cool to grow a beard, and it's not as long as Lovie's, but it's that gray color. And I go, dude, if you shave your face, you'll shave 10 years off of it. And if Lovie shaves that beard, he looks like the Lovie who was coaching the Bears 10 plus years ago. So yeah, Lovie shaved the beard. You look ridiculous. And you don't win with it. You don't win with the beard. You didn't win at U of I. You're not winning at Texans. Shave the beard.
You might be onto something. That might be it. If Grandpa Lovie ends up shaving that beard off, he probably gets a dub over in Duval.
Dameon Pierce is that guy, though.
Yeah, I think they found something there. And frankly, Brandon Cooks has always been that guy and has just been never getting the credit he deserves.
For real. Yeah, they just don't have playmakers on that team besides Pierce, and he gets, the workhorse. He's going to be the workhorse there.
I hate all the hate you're giving Lovey. Old Saint Nick Lovey, man. Keep it, Lovey. Keep doing what you're doing, and don't let anybody shade on you, man. You just keep doing what you're doing in Houston, but let it keep growing. Unlike Rodgers, who shaved his off, and he ain't doing so hot. All right,
if he keeps doing what he's doing, he won't be in Houston.
and to be fair, Tony, out of us three, you're the only one who can actually grow a legitimate beard, so that's probably why you're loving it, and Dietrich and I are hating it, right?
There could be something to that.
So, but boys, I got nothing left. I appreciate you two holding it down last week when I was dying. So, nice job.
Thank you for your triumphant return. We certainly missed you, and almost had your partner in crime on the podcast in replacement. But
we're happy that you're
the
back.
tribute that we made you last week.
Yeah. Which one? Who are you gonna have
on? She'll be on one week. Don't worry.
Oh, thank God you didn't. I don't think she could have handled it. I don't think she could have handled it last week dealing with my ass. I don't think she had the patience, but
we figured.
Gotcha. I thought, honestly, the scary part is I thought you were talking about Orlick and Reese.
No, we're talking about your other wife.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Good shit.
But yeah, we're glad you're back, man, and good luck to you on your matchup this week. You got the highest, projected score of the week between you and your opponent, Dead Money. So best of luck to you, Tone. He beats Ryan twice, but maybe you can beat him once this week.
sure hoping. Do I have Saros or do I have Jake right this week?
You
Yeah,
have
I got
Jake.
Jake. Oh, phew. All right. Then I messed that up in the beginning of the show. I had Saros. All right. Well, it's not looking great for me this week after
Yeah,
that MVP performance he put up. But
yeah. Jake came out of nowhere last week and threw up some points.
His wide receivers are back, so now there's points to be had.
Yeah, it's good for us. We got Trevor and Zach going against each other. They're both 3-1, so one of those guys will advance to 4-1 and 3-2, and the other will go to 3-2. And the other 3-1 teams face each other with first place new guy half Chubb, Mr. Tim Banka, as well as Team Skeet 3-1 going against each other. So guys, like big matchups for us, trying to get two of those four top teams to get knocked down as a 2-2 team. Tony, you and I, if we can squeak out a win, we should both be elevated up those standings as well. D, I hate seeing you down there. No, I'm just kidding. Like, we love it. I gotta be honest with you. We're of course rooting for you to get Sacco, but you drafted so damn well, and we're all just shocked to see you. And you're not scoring a lot of points, but you're getting shit on in the process. Like, you've been outscored by like 130 points differential. So it's not like your team's throwing up enough points to win, but you're definitely just getting shit on.
I absolutely got raw dogged by Tim's team last week. Things might be different for me this week. We'll see. But Orslick's got a lot of the guys in the primetime games that we covered with Lamar Jackson, Devontae Adams, the stackage with Jackson and Duvernay. So we'll see what comes of that. And I'm still battling my QB troubles that I've had since the start of the year. So this week's start of the week, Geno Smith, baby, let's go.
Love
I like
to
it,
see
man. I like it. If Wentz wasn't going to have a good week, I agree with you. I would have been in there trying to get Goff or Geno. So roll it, man.
I put Geno as my number 2. I knew that Ryan would likely go hard in the paint to grab Goff, and it was likely that he was going to blow his entire load, and he did. He went all 30 fab to get him. So great job there, Ryan. Good luck with you having Goff on the squad, but the team is coming into form, Chris. We got Jamar Chase and AJ Brown that are putting up points. Jamal Williams looked great last week. Let's see Swift, stay on the bench for another week and let Jamal continue doing what he's doing. And then, hey, like I said, Christian McCaffrey catches balls all of a sudden. Like, come on, Baker, let's keep that up.
D, I'm not saying your team sucks. I'm saying it's just underperformed so far this year. I mean, and in the process, you've also had the second amount of points scored against you, Mr. Fester being the guy who's been shit on the most in the league. But your team is good. It's just underperforming. Rodgers also came out today and was like, Christian Watson is so similar to Devontae Adams, and you are stashing Christian Watson as a loyal Packer fan that you are, so I like that there. Let's talk on quarterback if you want to roll Trevor. Happy to entertain anything you'd want to see fit there.
I was talking with a couple of other guys trying to arrange some deals on a couple things, and I actually had a little trade offer. Should something pan out, I was going to send you a little request there, Chris, so that might be a tease for what's to come.
Oh, I'm all about a good tease.
A little slap and pickle.
Right. Well, slap and pickle, bud. That's a great new team name.
There we go. I think we'll leave it at that. A new team name for the rest of our fans that are listening, and Chris in the Moose Knuckle League. But guys, anything else before we exit for today's show?
No. We appreciate you, listeners. Definitely like and subscribe. And
comment down below on what mediocre to trash quarterback I should be starting for week 6. I need all the help I can get.
All right, guys. Well, thank you from Matt, Chris, and myself. Peace.